All right, happy lunchtime, baseball fans. It is 11:55 a.m. on the East Coast. Saw that MV did a game earlier today in the Howie Shanks League, and my Mudville guys are kind of still in it, a little bit outside, but what, 9.5 back. So, will anybody catch the Death Star that is Detroit Coyotes? We shall see. So, returning to good old friend here, out of the park baseball, and a continuing bid for baseball mediocrity that I present on this channel. So, hope you enjoy it. I decided to do a live one today. Give Ernie a little break, at least for now. So, we see here that the Chicago White Sox in this all-time great franchise league right now is 5-7, 4 games back. They're fifth in the AL Central. They will be facing the Cleveland Indians. Of course, it'll say Guardians up here. Let's look at how they're doing right now. So they are 9-3, and they are first in the AL Central. So a little battle here going on. It should be a lot of fun, and some American League Baseball here. All-time greats on the soon-to-be renamed Beatles Eternally channel. Still haven't thought of a name yet. Maybe we'll call it the Big Clue Daily Heresy channel, or the, oh my God. So anybody who's a member of Discord, I just came across it and Big Clue posted this, and I know it was out of love. It was a custom comic for Robbie Wartburg. So check it out. It's hilarious. It is perfect. So maybe I'll relieve Hannes Wagner for a couple games, like the end game banner and stuff, and with Big Clue's permission, put that comic in there because it's brilliant. As we all know, Robbie has 317 projects starting per day, and we love our Robbie, and we wish him continued success in year 4 of his 1908 replay in baseball for Windows. All right, let's get to the ballpark. Let's get to the ballpark. All right. For the visiting Cleveland Indians, and yay, 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 it's the Cleveland Indians. In case anybody wants to know how you can keep the Indians, right? Well, the first thing you can do is use there's an all-time great quick start. But the other thing you can do, as long as you have an earlier version of out of the park baseball, create the season. So again, do it when they're not the Guardians, obviously, which is most of their history, and then just bring the game forward from that earlier edition, and it will keep the Indians logo. All right, so for the visiting Cleveland Indians, as we go to U.S. Cellular Field today, leading off at center field, Kenny Lofton. Batting second in DH, Ed Morgan. Batting third in left field, Manny Ramirez. Batting cleanup in right field, Rocky Calavito. Hey, yo, Adrian. Batting fifth and catching, Steve O'Neill. Batting sixth at first base, Jim Thome. Batting seventh at shortstop, Joe Sewell. Batting eighth at second base, Carlos Baerga. And batting ninth at third base, Bill Bradley. Taking the hill tonight, or today, none other than a rapid Robert Feller. In 2 games thus far this season in this all-time greats league, Feller is 1-0 with a 7.2 earned run average, a whip of 190. He has struck out 9 batters per 9 innings, as you would expect from Rapid Robert. For the hometown Chicago White Sox, leading off at second base, Eddie Collins. Batting second at short, Luke Appling. Batting third in right field, the great shoeless Joe Jackson. And the cleanup spot at first base, the big hurt, Frank Thomas. Batting fifth, left fielder, Minnie Minoso. Batting sixth at third base, Robin Ventura. Batting seventh and taking DH duties today will be Maglio Ordonez. Batting eighth, center fielder, Johnny Mastil. Batting ninth and catching, Ray Schock. And taking the mound for the Chicago White Sox, Doc White. In 2 games, he is 0-2, an 11.32 earned run average, a 165 whip, 6.1 strikeouts per 9. So surprising to see a little bit, at least, Feller's ERA up there. But again, we're very, very, very early in the season. So sit back, enjoy your lunch, enjoy some baseball, because ultimately that is the second most important thing in life. Let's go. we are. U.S. Cellular Field, which I think it's called Guaranteed Rate Field. I have no idea. Hey, there's Bernard Strom. Caught a great game yesterday. He's doing his 1950 Red Sox replay. The Red Sox, I believe, finished third that year. Bernard trying to take them all the way to the World Series. He's doing that on PC Replay Baseball. So do check it out. Bernard, let us know when the next game is. I thought you said something about a Friday, but I don't know if you meant game calendar. Waiting a week between your broadcasts, man. I hope that's not the case. All right, let's look at the starting defense here for the Chicago White Sox. In left field, Minnie Minoso. In center, Johnny Mastil. In right field, shoeless Joe Jackson. Around the horn from first to third. The big hurt, Frank Thomas at first base. At the Keystone sack, the great Eddie Collins. At shortstop, old aches and pains, Luke Appling. At third, Robin Ventura catching Ray Schock and pitching Doc White. Kenny Lofton steps in. Lofton on the season thus far is 19 for 45 with a home run, 12 runs batted in, sporting a 422 average. Let's look at the weather here on the south side of Chicago. And it's partly cloudy, 48 degrees. So again, we're still in April in this. A long way to go. Big clue said, ask my smartphone. Surely it's not raining again today. Smartphone replied, it is. And don't call me Shirley. Oh. Apparently I forgot to take the phone off airplane mode, and it just gets worse. Welcome in, my good friend. All right, big clue in here, providing the great color commentary that he famous throughout the league, at least in Cedar Falls, Iowa, and other questionable places. All right, Doc White has finished his warm-up pitches, and we'll do the little pan around the ballpark. And let's get to it. Thanks for spending your lunchtime with me, good people. And yes, it's raining here in the Commonwealth, and I was going to go out and read some baseball, and I thought, why not do a game? I've been making Ernie work too hard at these lunchtime games, so just about ready to get underway. It's so dramatic, isn't it? It's just so dramatic. Waiting for MV to do that MLB The Show tutorial for me. He's talking about this great roster that I can't seem to find. Here is the 1-1 delivery. And this one, a little flare to right field. And this one will just flare into the glove of shoeless Joe Jackson. So we're underway here, 1 up, 1 down. And Cleveland sends up DH Ed Morgan. Morgan off to a sort of a torrid start, you might say, with a 436 average. 6 runs batted in. He is 17 for 39. Doc White into his windup, and the 1-2 pitch to Ed Morgan. Morgan cuts on this one. Harmless little grounder to short, and up with it is old aches and pains Luke Appling for the putout. So 2 up, 2 down here in the Cleveland first, and brings up Manny Ramirez, the left fielder, hitting .271, 5 runs batted in, including a dinger. Pretty good crowd here today in the south side of Chicago. Rather crisp day, but good day for baseball nonetheless. Doc White looking for the 1-2-3 inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Ramirez. And Manny swings, and soft fly ball to center field, and ranging in on it and making the grab is Johnny Mastil. So Cleveland goes quietly, and we go to the bottom of the first. It's the Cleveland Indians, nothing. The Chicago White Sox coming to bat. Looking at the starting defense for these Cleveland Indians, all-time great team, from left to right. Manny Ramirez, Kenny Lofton, and Rocky Colavito. From first to third around the horn at first, holding down the bag. Jim Thome at second, Carlos Baerga. At short, Joe Sewell. Third base, Bill Bradley. Catching today, Steve O'Neill for the Indians. And on the mound, Rapid Robert Feller. So Hall of Famer to lead this off here is Eddie Collins steps to the plate. Eddie Collins, interestingly enough, in the dead ball era, known as more of a slugger, although still a lot of bases. You had a few people like that in the dead ball era, Nap Lajoie, Sam Crawford, another couple dead ballers that come to mind that would occasionally swing for power, especially Sam Crawford with Lajoie. Though the home run totals may belie that. High triples, high doubles. For Eddie Collins, a .356 start to the season with 4 runs batted in. Eddie is 16 for 45. All right, Feller is done with his warm-up pitches. Catcher Steve O'Neill sets the target for Feller. Here is the 3-2 pitch coming to Eddie Collins, so getting a good look at Feller. Here it comes. Collins swings, and this one, oh, diving stop at second base. Diving stop at second base by Carlos Baerga, getting that little liner off of the bat of Eddie Collins. So one away here for shortstop Hall of Famer Luke Appling, who, again, you've heard me say it a couple times in the game already, has one of the greatest nicknames of all time, Old Aches and Pains. The Hall of Fame shortstop hitting .282 in the early season with 5 runs batted in. Feller has the sign from Steve O'Neill. Here is the wind and the 1-2 pitch to Appling. Appling swings, and this one could get down for a base hit. Indeed it does. Playing it on the bounce out there in center field is Kenny Lofton. So Appling aboard, decent speed at first. And here is the great shoeless Joe Jackson. Let us get him into the Hall of Fame. Jackson hitting .400 on the young season with 6 runs batted in. He is 18 for 45. The mill hand from Columbia, South Carolina, wielding his bat, Black Betty. It's said that Babe Ruth patterned his swing after the great shoeless Joe Jackson. Appling with a lead-off first. Feller with the 0-2 delivery to Jackson. Cut on and missed. So the fastball from Rapid Robert gets Mr. Jackson, and Mr. Jackson will grab a seat. Here's the big hurt, Frank Thomas. 2 home runs already in the season, 16 runs batted in, a .348 average. Luke Appling remains at first with the game's sole hit, a little flare out to center. It got down in front of Kenny Lofton. Feller deals. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And Frank Thomas lets that one go by. Ball 4, so this one missing just low. Feller bringing some heat in there. So 2 aboard, Appling at second, Frank Thomas at first for the great Minnie Minoso. Minoso hitting .269, 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in for Minoso. Feller from the set position. Minoso swings, and this one's going to be lined into the gap in right, and that's going to bring home at least 1. Minoso digging for 2. 1 run is in for the Chicago White Sox, as Kenny Lofton had to give chase to that all the way to the track. So RBI double for Minnie Minoso, and the Chicago White Sox take an early 1-0 lead here. Bottom of the first, 2 down. Frank Thomas at third, Minnie Minoso at second for third baseman Robin Ventura. Ventura off to a .225 start, 7 runs batted in, including a home run. Feller working from the stretch to Ventura, the 2-2 pitch. Cut on, and this one in the gap and left, and this is going to go all the way to the wall. So Ventura has himself at least a double and 2 RBI on that. So Chicago coming out swinging here in the bottom of the first and jump out to a 3-0 lead here at U.S. Cellular, the south side of Chicago. So Feller getting touched up early in the game here. Maglio Ordonez now comes to bat. Robin Ventura in scoring position at second. Ordonez donning the DH mantle, hitting in .286 with a run batted in. Feller with a walk and a strikeout, and having given up 3 hits and 3 runs thus far, deals. The 3-2, Ordonez lays off the payoff pitch, and this one missing inside. So Feller, usually with very good control, having some problems here as center fielder Johnny Mosto steps in for the Pale Hose. Mosto hitting .393 with 3 runs batted in. Steve O'Neill sets the target. Feller deals the 1-2 pitch to Mosto. Cut on, and this one a liner to center field and right into the glove of Kenny Lofton. Nice play. Lofton going on that sinking liner. But the White Sox get 3 runs on 3 hits. They strand 2. We go to the top of the second. The Chicago White Sox 3. The Cleveland Indians, nothing. Rocco Colavito will lead it off, followed by Steve O'Neill and Jim Toney, the number 4, 5, 6 hitters of this Cleveland lineup. Colavito hitting .222 thus far in the season with 10 runs batted in, 2 home runs. Doc White rubbing up the ball, has the side from Cracker Shock. Here is the wind in the 2-2 pitch to Rocco. Colavito connects on this one and grounded a base hit right up the middle. So that's the first hit for the Cleveland Indians in the contest. And Colavito making the wide turn at first. Colavito, not necessarily a threat to steal, may occasionally choose his spots. Ray Schalk, an average arm behind the plate, so we'll see if the Indians can bring any semblance of a running game as catcher Steve O'Neill steps in. O'Neill hitting .294, 3 runs batted in for him. Colavito into his leadoff first. Doc White kicks and delivers the 3-1 to Steve O'Neill. And Steve O'Neill, this is going to be a little seeing eye single up the third base line, and actually it's going to turn into a double. So Steve O'Neill picking up that little sneaky double, and in there standing up, Colavito will hold at third. 2 in scoring position for the Tribe here in the top of the second. And it brings up Jim Thome, Rocky Colavito at third, Steve O'Neill at second. Numbers for Thome right now are rather frigid. 111 average with 2 runs batted in. He does have a home run. Indians looking for Thome to heat up. Doc White pitching from the stretch with nobody out, and the 1-0. Thome sends this one line to center. This will get down for a base hit, and Thome's going to get 2 RBI out of this, and all of a sudden, Cleveland is back within striking distance. Looks like we have the beginnings of a back-and-forth seesaw game. Love those. So your score now 3-2. Nobody out. Mick F., Mr. We Are Family Beatles for some late morning baseball. Big Clue says that Robin Ventura is one of the most underrated players of modern times. A top 25-ish all time at third base. I would definitely agree about that about Robin Ventura. Fantastic glove. Was a power hitter when he was young. Right, and you got to, anybody who charged out against Nolan Ryan, just watched a video of that the other day. Oh man, and I mean, Nolan Ryan wasn't playing. He opened a can of medieval whoop ass. Just a beautiful thing to behold. Jim Thome on at first, slower than Robbie Wartburg's project progress. And here comes Joe Sewell. Joe Sewell, 1 for 1, so he's batting 1,000. How about it, baseball fans? Here we go. Doc White deals. And the runner goes. This one a little bunt down the first base line. Perfectly executed sacrifice bunt by Joe Sewell. And that moves Jim Thome into scoring position. So the tying run is second with just 1 down here for Cleveland. And it brings up Carlos Baerga, 0 for 2 in the season. So how slow is Thome? That's right. Slower than a Robbie Wartburg project. So again, as I mentioned, with great love, Robbie into year 4 of his 1908 replay. So we're looking to probably reach the All-Star break. I'm thinking in the year, at this point in the year 2030. So we'll be tuning into that one. So there we go. So looking forward to that. All right, Ray Schalk sets the target for Carlos Baerga now. And here is the 1-2 pitch. Baerga swings, and soft fly ball to center field, ranging to his left just a bit, and making the catch is Johnny Mostil, and uncorks the ball quickly, gets it back in the infield. So 2 away now. Cleveland has played at 2 here, and Bill Bradley comes to the plate. Bill Bradley off to a good start again in the young season, a .391 average with 3 runs batted. Oh my God, it's Steve Tate, and he is alive. Steve, you told me when you got back from vacation that we're going to resume some head-to-head, and you should know that the Detroit Death Star and Shanks is still in first place. MV's been keeping up for the side. So I will hopefully do a Shanks game later today. So welcome back to the evil one. I mean to Steve. Slower than Robbie's level. That's how slow Tommy is. All right, so the ponderously slow Jim Tomey is at second in scoring position. Bill Bradley waits for the Doc White delivery. The southpaw sets and fires. The 1-1 pitch to Bill Bradley. Bradley swings, and this one just a little soft liner into medium deep center field, and Johnny Mostil comes on to make the catch for the White Sox. Side retired, but Cleveland tallies 2, and we go to the bottom of the second inning. It's the Chicago White Sox 3, the Cleveland Indians 2, here on the soon-to-be renamed Beatles Eternally channel. As soon as I can figure out a damn name for it. All right, Cracker Shock to lead it off, a member of the 1919 White Sox, not one of those found guilty. Shock, 7 for 3, hitting .429, 2 runs batted in, so Shock definitely overperformed. Very, very light hitting catcher. Pretty decent on defense, though. Bob Feller, 2 walks and a strikeout in a rough first inning. We'll see if Rapid Robert can settle him down here. The righty deals the 0-2 delivery to Shock. And Ray Shock just stood there and watched it go by. So that one catching the black on the outside. Nice slider there by Bob Feller. That would be his second strikeout. Out number 1, and we flip around to the top of the order. The Chicago White Sox, Eddie Collins, who's 0 for 1. Feller toes the rubber and lets it go. The 0-2 to Collins. Collins cuts on this one, dumps this one to left field, base hit. This one going toward the gap, off the old Navy sign, off the wall, and Eddie Collins will cruise into second with a 1-out stand-up double. Eddie Collins, very, very dangerous to have on base. He will pilfer a base faster than Robbie Wartburg. We'll glom onto a new project. Robbie, it's all in love, so take it. Take it that way. So, who was slower to the base passes, Homey or Mike Piazza? Ernie Lombardi is my answer. Is that my answer? Ernie Lombardi? It is. Steve says he's flying solo this weekend with no supervision. Oh man, we are in trouble now. Mrs. Steve is out for the weekend, so we're going to have to put up with Darth Tate for the weekend. Looking forward to it, actually. Big Clue says if you wanted to put a dead ball catcher in the Hall of Fame, it should have been Wally Shank. Agreed. Agreed. Not sure how Shock made it in there. Definitely, you can't make the argument that you know, catchers were light hitting back in the day. I mean, so not sure. Maybe need to do a little bit more research. I do know that he was a pretty good defensive catcher, but Shock definitely light hitting. Not sure, and not the strongest arm behind the dish either. I suspect maybe the fact that Shock was one of the few White Sox, or one of the White Sox maybe not guilty of throwing the 1919 series. I really don't know what the deal is. But again, we could have a 13-hour broadcast just on the Hall of Fame. Yeah, so there you go. Now somebody deserving of the Hall of Fame, Luke Appling comes to play now. Appling 1 for 1 in the day. Collins with absolute superior speed in scoring position. Sox looking for run number 4, 1 out. Feller checks the runner at second. Carlos Baerga kind of sneaking in a little bit here. Maybe trying to catch Collins napping. Here's the 3-0 delivery to Appling. Appling lays off, and Feller continuing to have some control problems. Issues his 4th free pass. Or I'm sorry, his 3rd free pass. But that one on 4 straight pitches. So 2 aboard. Feller's going to need a double play here. Shoeless Joe Jackson stepping in now. He's 0 for 1. So Shoeless Joe, having played both for the White Sox and for Cleveland. And Jackson, one of those players that you can kind of go either way if you're playing in the Time Breaks League, and decided to leave him with the Indians. Or with the White Sox, I should say. But played for both Cleveland and Indians. In fact, you can see him wearing his Cleveland Indians Feller lets it go, and Jackson, first pitch, this one a little number to second, but they're not going to turn two. So Jackson aboard in the fielder's choice. So Sewell cut down at second. Eddie Collins will move to third of the play. The White Sox have a lot of speed now on the base pass. And Shoeless Jackson, truly a five-tool player in addition to power, average, arm, the whole thing. Also could steal some bases. All right, and that sets the stage for the big hurt. So walked against Feller his last time. Two away here, 3-2 Chicago lead the bottom of the second. Feller works from the stretch. 2-2 pitch to Frank Thomas. Thomas swings on this one. Little soft comeback to the mound, and Feller has it. Makes the quick snap onto first to retire Frank Thomas on the side. Two base runners for Chicago. Two very speedy ones left on. And we go to the top of the third inning. The White Sox 3 and the Indians 2. Johnny Kling, definitely. Johnny Kling was definitely. So, okay, the shot was lifted by the Mets committee. Steve Tate says that, and I agree with this, should be an option to vote people back out of the Hall of Fame so as the years go by. We may choose to remove you. I guess that would sort of tarnish it. Maybe you'd want to just say to the guys that, like, maybe should be in there, but it's like, enjoy it for a while. And, the initials HB come to mind. Yeah, I don't know who that guy is. The initials HB, so anybody knows that. Pardon me. As Big Clue says, Cubs catcher Johnny Kling is a more popular candidate with the writers in the 1930s and 40s. Johnny Kling certainly would more deserving of consideration. I know it goes to Ray Shaw right now. He's not a happy camper, but we're sorry, Cracker. You did something better than all of us here in this chat. You made it to the majors and stayed there for a while. So, there you go. I just don't want to be onto the dead hours of the night where somebody might slip a bat with a quilt or something. But I don't mean a baseball bat. All right, Kenny Lofton now 0 for 1. Back at the top of the order for the Cleveland squad. Lofton 0 for 1. Doc White lets it go. The 1-0 delivery to Lofton. Lofton swings. Hard ground ball past first base. Rolling toward the corner and right. Lofton digging for two. Here is the throw from right field. The slide, and Lofton in there with leadoff double. So we're talking about speed. And Lofton beating the Jackson throw in there. Double for Kenny Lofton. Watch as he takes an aggressive lead off first. Ed Morgan in the dish now 0 for 1. 2-1 coming to Ed Morgan. Morgan swings, grounded to short. Lofton will make third of the play easily. High throw to first by shortstop Affleck, but pulling it down is the big hurt Frank Thomas for out number 1. But Cleveland tying the run now just 90 feet away in the speedy Lofton. Here's Manny Ramirez. Nothing for 1 for the Cleveland left fielder. Doc White works from the stretch in the 3-1 to Ramirez. Wide out his last time up. And this one is going to be a little dying quail to left. Base hit for Ramirez. And that's an RBI coming in. The score is Kenny Lofton. And Cleveland ties it up here at the top of the third inning. We are locked at 3. Manny Ramirez, almost as slow as Jim Tony. Tony maybe slightly faster than Marty, is on first. Here's Rocky Colavito. Still 1 out. Doc White lets it go. Colavito swings at the first pitch, and this one, a seeing eye single up the middle. And making a wide turn at second is Manny Ramirez, and then Manny remembering that he's not going to run arm like Johnny East. So 2 aboard for Cleveland. Ramirez at second, Colavito at first, and that brings up Steve O'Neill, the Cleveland catcher, 1 for 1 in the game. The 2-2 pitch now. O'Neill doubled last time. This is going to be a grounder to short, and Up with it is Luke Appling, and this will go on to Brent Thomas. Indians pick up a run, and the game is tied at 3 as we head to the bottom of the third inning. Minnie Minoso, Robin Ventura, and Nagli Ordonez do up for the Pale Bulls on the south side. Robert Feller has walked 3 and struck out 2 in his festivities today. Minoso 1 for 1 with an RBI. 3-2 pitch to Minoso. That was a double his last time. Minoso swings, soft grounder to third, taking it on a little hop is Bill Bradley, and that will take care of Minnie Minoso for out number 1. Robin Ventura now will have to go. He's 1 for 1 with 2 runs back. Here is a pitch. Ventura swings and sends this high fly ball to left center, and this one will land softly into the glove of Kenny. So gave it a good ride, but he came up with a big out. Nagli Ordonez now. One of Feller's 3 free passes, 2 away from the bottom. Feller kicks and fires. Full count on Ordonez. Ordonez swings on this one, base hit, center field. And Chicago with his 5th base knock in the game. With 2 down. Ordonez thought about second, but and here comes Johnny Mostel, center fielder, 3 for 1 for the White Sox. Feller appears in, has the sign from Steve O'Neill completely ignoring Ordonez in second. Here's the one delivery. Mostel swings. This one a little flare to right, but that's going to hang up there just long enough to run Colomito to close his glove on that one. So inning over, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. We remain deadlocked at 3 as we head to the top of the 4th. Steve Tate says baseball history collection is available for Action PC Baseball for these guys to get. So I was looking at what's on offer, and usually Dave adds some kind of cool things. This year doesn't look like it, and I will pick it up. It's due out. It's going to be released on 28th. It is on sale for $39. I'm gonna pick it up. I was just hoping that maybe what Dave could have done for newcomers to the game, reintroduce those decade teams or the franchise teams, some other things that haven't been in the baseball history collection. I know he switches it in and out. I know for junkies like Nick, for Steve, and me, we're going to pick it up. For those of you who have last year's edition, you're new to the game, I don't know if that's necessarily a must-buy, so I would respectfully, I'll qualify at least Steve's assertion. Updated past players with split data and updated grades, etc. And all right, well, again, I'm going to pick it up. I'm definitely going to pick it up. Maybe after this broadcast, actually. Since Ned McGreevy, the next Ned McGreevy league is going to be starting pretty soon. Nice to have that on hand, although I think the next Ned McGreevy is going to be using players from the KCCL tournament, using actual seasons. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm going to pick it up. A few people have been asking me, would you buy it, or do you think I should buy it? I don't know. I guess with the you're beta testing the file now. Okay. So if you do have split data in the baseball history collection, that's big. That is big. So that might just, with that information from Steve, maybe you should pick it up because the baseball history collection becomes even more meaningful. Thank you, Steve. Beta testing the file. You lucky bastard, you. I don't know, man. Who do I have to sleep with to be a beta tester over there? Anyhow, just kidding. All right, here we go. Jim Thome will lead it off, followed by Joe Sewell, Carlos Baerga. So Steve Tate is our guru when it comes to Action PC Baseball, and is one of the beta testers, and has a direct, he has like a backbone, man, directly. So I guess Steve is, well, actually Steve would be Batman, And Dave Cook would be Commissioner Gordon. Is that how that works? Or, and people want to know, right? It's a nagging question. Is Steve Robin to Dave Cook's Batman? We shall see as I take down Mr. Tate at some point today or this weekend. It's head-to-head baseball. Send him away weeping back to his Detroit Coyotes. All right. Can't pick on Steve too much, though. His Tigers and my Pirates suck this year. Ugh. Pirates especially, man. We're on an 11-game losing streak. But congrats to Big Clues Reds, man, in first place in a weak National League Central, but still on a tear. Crazy. Doc White delivers to Thome. Base hit back in the second, and Jim Thome's going to do it again. So he's going to get out there in the infield dirt and try to cause a little bit of havoc. Base hit number 7 for the Cleveland Indians, and here is Hall of Famer Joe Sewell. Sewell walked against, or Sewell, I'm sorry, with a sacrifice in this game. Moving Thome to second. Last time up, Doc White delivers, and Sewell's doing it again, lays down a nice bunt down the first base line. So Joe Sewell, it seems to be in his contract, your job is to move Jim Thome around the bases. So he gets him to second with 1 out, runner in scoring position for Carlos Baerga. We're knotted at 3 here in the 4th. Baerga nothing for 1. Doc White lets it go, the 3-0. Baerga looks at ball 4 in the outside corner. So that's the first walk issued by Doc White. He has yet to strike out a batter. And Bill Bradley now, nothing for 1. 2 aboard for Cleveland, 1 away. Jim Thome at second, Carlos Baerga at first. Doc White lets it go. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And this one, sinking liner to center field, and nice play by Johnny Mosto for out number 2. So Jim Thome not going anywhere off the Keystone sack. Back at the top of the order now for Mr. Kenneth Lofton, who's 1 for 2. 2 on, 2 out. Here's the delivery to Kenny, the 1-1 pitch. Doubled his last time up. And this one, just a grounder deep to second. And that will take care of Lofton as Eddie Collins fires on to Frank Thomas. So Cleveland strands a pair. They do not capitalize. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. And we are still knotted at 3 here at U.S. Cellular, or Guaranteed Rate, or whatever this ballpark is called right now. You're rooting for us against the Fish. Yeah, well, they didn't. We got whooped by them last night. Man, I don't know what is going on. It's just terrible. No spoilers. Yeah, Mudville versus Detroit. I did see it. So, good baseball game. Yep, no spoilers. Good baseball game. The Death Star, of course, its reign of terror continues. But MV, he hopes springs eternally in the human breast, as Ernest Thayer once wrote. I think he still thinks his Manchester Red Bulls are going to take over the Death Star. So Ray Schock leads it off here for the White Sox, and Eddie Collins, Luke Appling. So 3 Hall of Famers, and 1 should be a Hall of Famer. Should one of these guys get on. Feller deals the 3-1 to Ray Schock. And Schock takes ball 4 inside. Leadoff walk issued by Bob Feller. So Schock aboard for Eddie Collins. So Schock with decent speed for a catcher. Pretty good hit and run combination here. Eddie Collins is 1 for 2. Nicknamed Cocky. The 0-2 pitch to Collins. Collins, a swing and a miss. So Feller, a little bit of inconsistency, but the big hammer by Feller gets Collins to chase. And that's his 3rd strikeout of the game. And here comes Luke Appling. He is 1 for 1. 1 away. Schock into his lead at first. Rapid Robert with the 0-2 to Old Aches and Pains. Appling cuts on this one. Just a little weak grounder to short. And they're going to turn 2. So that's going to be Sewell to Baerga, and then on the relay, that takes care of it as Jim Thome completes the 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. We head to the top of the 5th inning, and we are still knotted at 3. JT Dutch joining us here in the south side of Chicago. And Mick F. is here as well. Good to see. We've got all the baseball scholars, ne'er-do-wells, rogues, scallywags, and Big Clue. My God. How can one person be so blessed? Ed Morgan, nothing for 2. Shock sets the target. Doc White delivers the 0-2 to Ed Morgan. Grounded to short his last time up. Morgan swings on this one, and a little grounder into center field, base hit. So Cleveland was his eighth hit in the game. And it brings up Manny Ramirez. He's 1 for 2. Manny's got an RBI in this game. Morgan leads off first, decent speed. The 2-2 pitch to Ramirez. RBI single last time. Ramirez, hard hit, ground ball to third, and that is going to be the textbook 5-4-3 double play initiated by Robin Ventura. So quickly 2 outs here in the Indians' 5th, and it brings up Rocco Colavito. Colavito a perfect 2 for 2 today at the plate. Lefty Doc White peers in, lets it go. The 1-2 to Colavito. Colavito cuts on this one. Soft flare to center. Is it going to stay up long enough for Johnny Mustil to bring it down? Indeed it does. So a quiet inning for the Cleveland Indians. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on. Bottom of the 5th, and we still are at 3-3. JT Dutch. Clue, talking about baseball scholars, the definition should include a picture of you. Yep, Big Clue, even though he does choose his heresy according to, you know, the weather and things like that. Definitely a baseball scholar, though. And corrected me when I said that there is no Pittsburgh Pirate pitcher in the Hall of Fame. Technically, Big Clue is right. There is one. And Big Clue don't answer. So, see. Now, so it's a strange trivia question. But apparently, technically, there is one Pittsburgh Pirate pitcher in the Baseball Hall of Fame. So I'm not talking about pitchers like Vic Willis, who, you know, went on to pitch for the Braves or whatever. But this player, so thank you to Big Clue for this. I'd forgotten about this. Except for his first 3 seasons of baseball, played his entire career with the Pittsburgh Pirates. He is in the Hall of Fame, most assuredly. And he did pitch a bit. Who is that player? And again, he played almost his entire career with the Pittsburgh Pirates except for his first 3 seasons. Second hint is the same owner owned both clubs. So Wagner's first club in the majors and then the second club. Of course I'm a shill. It's great stuff, right? Yeah. All right. No, but that is a great trivia question. That should be one that Sabre should use for Horsehide trivia, actually. So, the lone Pittsburgh Pirate pitcher in the Hall of Famer. And he's a Hall of Famer. He did pitch. I shouldn't say he was a pitcher. I did not say his name. I did not say his name. So, and if I did, that's because I'm, you know, anticipating being drunk on Saturday night, so I can be excused. I'm half Irish after all. 0 for 2. Shoeless Joe leads it off, the 1-2. I think it's too early for anybody to catch that anyhow. Jackson. Everybody's rewinding now. What do you say? Jackson smacks one into center, base hit. So, 6th hit for the Chicago White Sox. Well, nobody's put the name in here. Oh, I mentioned his name in conjunction with the owner. Well, there you go. So how about it? So we won't actually say the name again. People will pick it up. But I did forget. I actually forgot. So I guess technically the Pirates do have a pitcher in the Hall of Fame. But that's kind of stretching it, isn't it there, Mr. Clue? All right. I'm mean, come on, it's 12:40. It's early for me. All right, Bob Feller deals with Jackson on first. The 2-1 pitch. The runner does not go. This one, base hit between short and third into left field. So Frank Thomas picking up hit number 7 for the Chicago White Sox. 2 aboard, Jackson at second, Thomas at first for Minnie Minoso has an RBI in this game. Chance here for the White Sox to break this deadlock. Feller deals. And both runners take off. It's a double steal. How about it? A double steal by the Chicago White Sox. And safe at third is the speedy shoeless Joe Jackson. O'Neill came up gunning, but Jackson already at third. So 2 in scoring position, nobody out. Nice to see that going on in a game like this. Minoso back in the box in the 2-2 pitch. Minoso swings, and this one line to right. This is going to get down for a base hit. Minoso is going to pick up an RBI on this one. Chicago breaks the deadlock and now leads 4-3 at the bottom of the 5th. No more stretch than the Reds claiming to be the first pro ball club or Spink Award winners being called Hall of Famers. Says here's a trivia question: which Major League Baseball team was a member of 3 different leagues? Which Major League team was a member? Nick F. asked, a more interesting question might be how close a Pirates pitcher has gotten with respect to the Hall of Fame. Well, I would say the one closest to consideration and never will be would be Babe Adams, who is the best. He still holds many, many records in the Pirates franchise. He's our best pitcher all time, Babe Adams, but not going to be in the Hall of Fame. But as far as voting goes, I'm not really sure. Big Clue seems to know all that stuff. It would be fun to see what pitcher came closest. But Babe Adams certainly did deserve some consideration. Vic Willis is in the Hall of Fame, but not as a Pirate. So Bob Wickman now comes in to pitch. So there's a name to conjure with. Bob Wickman. It would only be more fun if his name was Dick Wickman. But anyhow, Bob Wickman will come in to pitch. They're looking rather, well, he looks very, very satisfied with himself. He's 0-1 in the season thus far. 2 2/3 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, and 1 strikeout. Vinny Minoso at first, Frank Thomas at third, nobody out. The righty Wickman has finished his warm-up pitches. Average control, pretty good movement on the fastball. Wickman deals. The 1-0 delivery to Robin Ventura. Ventura lines this one center field, and nice play out there by Kenny Lofton to throw home, and trotting home is the big hurt. So it's now 5-3 White Sox. And Maglio Ordonez. Yeah, Anderson or Cooper, yeah, definitely. Haddock's got some love, so did Bob Friend. But yeah, I would say that, I mean, Babe Adams just obviously, we can't forget Cooper, but we just never ever had strong pitching. Outfielders, infielders, yeah, but especially outfield. Pittsburgh outfields were amazing. Look at the amount of Pittsburgh Pirates in the Hall of Fame, and why we're talking about the Pirates, it's my fault, at a White Sox and Indians game, but there you go, that's Beatles tournament for you. So many of them outfielders. And 2 damn fine infielders too, I might say. Alright, here's Maglio Ordonez batting with Vinny Minoso at first. Minoso has some speed, 1 out. Wickman looking to induce a double play ball here, and he is a good ground ball pitcher. He winds and deals the 3-1 pitch to Ordonez. Ordonez looks at ball 4. So Minnie Minoso will move on to second base. 2 on for the White Sox, and it continues with 2 plated here in the bottom of the 5th. As center fielder Johnny Mastro steps in, he is nothing for 2. Bob Wickman looking for that coveted double play ball to get out of the inning. get to the Cleveland sixth, it will be O'Neill, Tomey, and Sewell. Wickman deals the count even on Mostill, and Mostill swings through this 2-2 pitch. Nice cutter off the plate, and that is a strikeout for Bob Wickman, his first of the game. And here comes Ray Shaw, nothing for one. 5-3, White Sox lead. Bob Wickman comes to the set position and fires into 2-1. And Ray Shaw lines this one to center field and right into the glove of Kenny Lofton. So that does it for the Chicago White Sox, but they pick up 2 runs. They strand 2, and we go to the top of the 6th inning. It's the Chicago White Sox 5, the Cleveland Indians 3. Steve O'Neill will lead it off here. The number 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the Tribe. O'Neill 1 for 2. Doc White lets go the 1-2 to Steve O'Neill. Grounded out his last time to short. O'Neill, a little flare into left center field, and ranging over to his right is Johnny Mostill to put it away for out number 1. Jim Tomey 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in. Cleveland down 2 here in the top of the 6th. Doc White delivers. Tomey swings, little too hopper to short. Luke Appling on to the big hurt for out number 2. Andrew RW603. So McF saying that Babe Adams peaked in voting at 13.7% in 1947. Sadly overlooked. Yeah, excellent pitcher. Big Clusa, if you really want to pick on a franchise, let's talk about the lasting success of the White Sox have seen in the second city, all the financial advantages in the world, and they've, yeah, this is a complicated team. The Chicago White Sox squad, who were originally in Chicago, you got to go way, way, way back. Of course, they were actually the more popular team at one time, Chicago than the Chicago Cubs. But the being a White Sox fan, and considering where the ballpark is situated, the South Side, not exactly, it's not as much of a combat zone as it used to be. But yeah, this is a franchise that's definitely, so, right, they throw the World Series in 1919, they don't get back until 1959, and then come up against a pretty tough LA Dodger squad, and then they kind of go quietly again, make some noise in the 70s, go quietly again. They do come back, they do win a World Series, of course. And of course, you know, can't forget the 1906 series, though, that big upset. The 1906 White Sox hitless wonders taking care of a very powerful Cubs team. But you're right. Love to get a White Sox fan on here to chat a little bit about this franchise. It's definitely a sort of hit or miss thing, isn't it? All right. Doc White delivers to Joe Sewell. Here's the 2-0. Sacrifice bunt. See, Jim Tomey isn't on this time, so. And lazy fly ball to right field. And Joe Jackson will make the catch. So, side retired. The Indians go in order. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Chicago White Sox remain in the lead, 5-3. Yeah, Roy Face, it just, yeah. Tekalvi is really cool. I got to meet Teak. Really cool dude, man. And, like, just, yeah, just what a great guy he was. Nice guy. Such a big part of that 1979 We Are Family Pirate squad. All right, here's Eddie Collins. And, you know, big clue also talking about these White Sox is no shortage of great players through the decades. I mean, the White Sox are a franchise. I don't understand what the deal is with them. Tough to be a White Sox fan. All right, Bob Wickman. How are they doing so far this year? Even I haven't looked at how the White Sox are doing. I know we have at least one White Sox fan. I'm forever remain 90 as a White Sox fan. Wish he was here right now, but over there hanging out in Germany. Bob Wickman deals to Collins. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Collins cuts and misses. So that's the second strikeout issued by Bob Wickman. And here comes Old Aches and Pains. Jerry Reinsdorf. Okay, so Big Clue says Sox sucks. Jerry Reinsdorf is a terrible owner. In his opinion, to avoid being sued, like anybody's really going to care, right? In this little channel. But Big Clue says, so that covers the past 43 years of Sox history. All right, Luke Appling now, 1 for 2. 1 away, Bill Wickman with a 3-2 pitch to Appling. Grounded out to Sewell his last time up. And how about this? Bill Wickman looking more like Bob Feller as he picks up his third strikeout. Shoeless Joe now, 1 for 3. 5-3 your score. Bill Wickman with a 1-2 to Shoeless. And Jackson swings, and this is going to be a little soft liner into center field. Shoeless Joe Jackson aboard for these Pale Hose, these pre-Jerry Reinsdorf Pale Hose. These for Shoeless Joe. Here to Big Hurt now. He is 1 for 2. Doug Jones is in now. There goes Jackson. And Shoeless Joe Jackson will steal second, uncontested. No throw from Steve O'Neill. JT Dutch says, which Major League team was a member of 3 different major leagues? Philadelphia were in the National League, American Association, of course, the American League. Oh, God, Disco Demolition Night. And what was something else with the White Sox? Wasn't it in the 1970s that they wore these kind of weird shorts, for lack of a better term? Of course, the exploding scoreboard. Come on, gotta give some love there. That's cool. All right, Doug Jones's numbers in this season thus far: just 3 innings worked, an earned run, a walk, and 3 strikeouts, and an ERA of 3. Frank Thomas 1 for 2. Jackson in scoring position. Doug Jones with the 1-2, and this one just a little dribbler to third. So Bill Bradley has it, and Frank Thomas is retired. I guess he did not get good wood. You know, I always get the weird feelings when Ernie says that in Baseball for Windows about somebody getting good wood. Anyhow, Carlos Baerga will lead it off, followed by Bill Bradley and then Kenny Lofton. Baerga nothing for 1. Doc White still in the game, nursing a 2-run lead, 5-3 here in the top of the 7th. Doc White with the 0-1. Baerga walked his last time up, and he will hang a little lazy fly ball to left, and pulling it down is Manny Minoso. So 1 up, 1 down here in the 7th. As Bill Bradley strides to the plate, the hot corner man for Cleveland is 0-2. Doc White fires the 1-2 pitch. Bradley lined to center his last time up. He swings, and this one a gapper into right for extra bases. And Cleveland getting its 9th base knock. Bradley at second. Bradley is going for 3. The throw hits the cutoff man. The throw to third, the tag not in time. So Bill Bradley with a 1-out triple. Bradley just hit second under full steam and kept it going. So 1 away here, and we have a pinch hitter. One of the 2 men in Major League Baseball history who had a team named after him. And of course, we're talking about Napoleon Lajoie. Lajoie hitting .432 on this young season. He's 19 for 44, 5 runs batted in, including a home run for the great Nap Lajoie, who Ned McGreevy just absolutely led in every category, or almost every category. So late of the Cleveland Naps, Bill Bradley at third, 1 out. Doc White brings it home. Lajoie is the tying run, and he walks Lajoie at the 3-1. Lajoie, a dangerous, dangerous man to have on the base paths. Okay, here's the answer. Follow along because it's complicated. Of course, the Cincinnati Reds. It says the Reds National League finished 1890 mostly bankrupt. They were purchased by Albert Johnson at season's end. Johnson had been the owner of the Cleveland team in the Players League. Johnson moved the Reds from the National League to the Players League for the 1891 season. Then the Players League owner outvoted him to disband the league. Johnson then decided to move the Reds to the American Association for the 1891 season. In response to all of this, the National League awards a new franchise in Cincinnati to John T. Brush, then a minority shareholder in the Giants. Just, wow. Okay, that is pretty complicated. All right. For some yet unknown reason, Johnson changes his mind about owning the ball club and sells the Reds and their player contracts back to the National League itself. Wow. Talk about a Gordian knot. Andrew says, just finished an 1890 Players League tourney, won by New York. By upset over the Boston Reds. So Big Clue continues, Brush hadn't started signing many players to his expansion Cincinnati team, and the National League sells the actual Reds to Brush. Thus, the 1891 National League Reds are the same roster as the 1890 National League Reds, but they'd spent the offseason jumping from the National League to the Players League to the American Association and back to the National League. Wow. Thank you, Big Clue, for that one. It's that's kind of a head spinning moment. In response, oh, it's not over yet. Geez. In response, the American Association fielded a Cincinnati Reds team entirely new to piss off John T. Brush and the National League. And you ask me why I love old baseball. That's exactly why. So that's today known as Kelly's Killers, but they were also called the Reds in the press at the time. Good stuff. Wow, yeah, it was Wild West baseball history, which is again why I will say pick up Tales from the Deadball era. But wow, Big Clue, thank you very much for that. Whew. JT Dutch says, I love how in Disco Demolition Night, Nancy Faust, she assumes, please take me out to the ball game while a full-on riot was taking place. Worth a shot. Yeah, huh? Oh my God. That one will never, a century from now, another beauty of baseball. No one is going, they're still going to be talking about Disco Demolition Night. All right, runners at the corners. As Ed Morgan steps in, he is 1 for 3. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Morgan. And Morgan sends this one to second base. Will they get to, oh, the throw to the plate is not in time. How about that? So Collins trying to get the run at home, just not in time, and the Cleveland Indians are now within one. It's 5-4, still one out. Lajoie at second, Ed Morgan at first. For number 3 hitter Manny Ramirez, who has an RBI in this game. He is 1 for 3. Wilbur Wood comes on now to pitch for the Chicago White Sox. Wood is 1-0 in the young season, 2 2/3 innings pitched with 2 strikeouts, an ERA of 0. All right, the lefty deals. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And this one, high fly ball toward the line and right, twisting foul. So Ramirez trying to do his best Carlton Fisk, it just doesn't work. So back in there now. Wilbur Wood ready to deal. The 3-2 pitch coming in to Manny Ramirez. Grounded into a double play his last time up. Ramirez swings. This one line to left. And this will get down for a base hit. And Cleveland has him loaded as the throw comes into the cutoff man. Napoleon Lajoie stops at third. Morgan at second, Manny Ramirez at first for Rocky Colavito. So one down, one in for Cleveland here in the seventh. It's 5-4. Colavito was 2 for 3 in the game. Wilbur Wood working from the stretch, looking to induce a double play from Colavito. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Colavito, this ball is going to get all the way to the backstop past Ray Shaw, and because of the wild pitch, Lajoie will come in to score, and the Cleveland Indians tie it up here in the seventh. It is 5-5. So Wilbur Wood, costly mistake there. 2 remain in scoring position. Colavito back in the box in the 2-1 delivery to Rocky. And Colavito lines this one deep to center field, but into the glove of Johnny Mosto. The throw comes to the plate and hits the cutoff man. And Ed Morgan comes in to score, and now the Indians jump out to a 6-5 lead. Manny Ramirez at third with 2 down, and Steve O'Neill striding to the plate. O'Neill 1 for 3 on the day. Infield playing in, trying to cut off the run at the plate with 2 down. Wood lets it go. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And this one, a little quail into left. Will it stay up? Indeed it will. Vinny Minoso hangs in on that one and makes the catch. But 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors, a runner left. And the Indians grab the lead from the White Sox 6-5 as we go to the middle of the 7th inning. So sing along, big clue. Says Roy Face got the highest percentage by the writers of any primary Pirate pitcher in Hall of Fame voting. And Adams got the most of any Pirate starting pitcher. No Pirate pitcher has ever garnered 20% in a writer's vote. Yep. We are just, Andrew says Disco Demolition Night was his 15th birthday. So, yeah, there you go. The Pirates just not, throughout our history from 1887 to now, not one of our pitchers in the Hall of Fame. Kind of sad. But holy hell, we can get Dave Parker into the Hall of Fame. We have 3 great. We'd have like Clemente in there, Paul Wainer in there. We need to get Dave Parker in there. Crazy outfields for the Bucks. But I mean, our pitching was good enough to keep us in what used to be known as the first division for decade after decade. And wow, this year we're hurting. Okay, bottom of the 7th, and actually it's kind of our pitching letting us down again. Vinny Minoso, 2 for 3 with 2 runs batted in. Doug Jones staying on in relief. Here's the wind and the delivery to Vinny Minoso. Run scoring single back in the 5th. Minoso will shoot this one up the middle for a base hit. So Vinny aboard, and that will be the 10th hit for the Chicago White Sox. So 20 hits between these 2 teams. And here comes Robin Ventura. Ventura 1 for 2. He's batted in 3 of this game, so responsible for 3 of the 5 White Sox runs. Minoso aggressive lead at first. Doug Jones with a check of the runner brings it home for 1-0. And Minoso off to the races. Here's the throw down, the tag. And Minoso picks up his first steal of the season. So runner in scoring position, the tying run for the White Sox. Ventura steps back in. Ventura is an occasionally dangerous bat. Doug Jones deals the 3-2 now to Ventura. Ventura swings, and this one will get down for a base hit in left field. And coming around to score. No, the throw to the plate. They've got Minoso dead to rights. So nice throw by Ramirez, coming in hard on that ball. Tagged by Steve O'Neill will take care of the tying run. Robin Ventura at first, 1 away for Maglio Ordonez. He is 1 for 1. Ventura rather slow there at first. Doug Jones with the 1-1. Base hit up the middle, so Minoso getting gunned down at home hurts a little bit here. The White Sox could have tied it up right here. Good ball game, though, that we have going on. And Johnny Mosto comes in now. Mosto looking for his first hit in 3 trips today. Doug Jones with the 0-2 to the center fielder. Struck out his last time up. Moss still swings. Fly ball center field. Will this get down? No! What a great diving stop. Larry Doby, who sneaks into center field, makes the catch. Hey, I'm back. I'm back. I had a meeting with the IRA, but I am back. Or a meeting about my IRA, so I am back. There we go. So you got to hear a half inning without me prattling on, right? Fun stuff. All right, Luke Apley. A little technical difficulties here. Has nothing to do with the individual Republican account, Irish retirement account, something, whatever they call those things. Luke Appling is 1 for 3. Doug Jones with the 0-1 delivery to Appling. And Old Aches and Pains dumps one into left field, base hit. That's hit number 13 for the Chicago Red Sox. A little something here for the Chicago fans to cheer about. It says, want to do something fun, says JT Dutch. Compare the careers of Jim Rice and Roy White. Might be stunning to realize that value-wise they're practically the same. JT Dutch saying that Jim Rice is Hall of Very good also, but he would probably be more deserving than Hall of Fame Parker. Always good baseball discussions here. I like Jim Rice. I always liked him as a player. And it seems that every time I tune into a Red Sox game, whether it was in World Series or what have you, it just seemed that Jim Rice was always clutch. Just a big Jim Rice fan, no matter if he was crappy to the press. I like Jim Rice. Like him. All right, Dave LaRoche will come in now and relief here for these Cleveland Indians. LaRoche's record, 4 1/3 innings worked, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, an ERA of 4.15. So good movement, especially against lefties. Mixes up his stuff pretty well. Average control. Can get it up in the 90s every once in a while. The southpaw ready to deal now to Shoeless Joe Jackson in this lefty-lefty matchup. Jackson is 2 for 4 in the game. Jackson swings and misses. So LaRoche bringing some old-fashioned country heat there to Shoeless Joe Jackson. 1 away, and here's Frank Thomas. Thomas 1 for 3. Dave LaRoche has the signal from Steve O'Neill, and here's the 2-1 pitch. And this one just a little blooper into left, and coming in on it, measuring it, and making the catch is Manny Ramirez. It's 2 away. And here's Minnie Minoso. Minoso having a good game despite that little, let's say, over-enthusiastic base running gaffe. 3 for 4 with 2 runs batted in the game. LaRoche brings it to Hall of Famer. Minoso swings, and this one, routine grounder to short, and that will end the inning as Sewell sidearms to Baerga to retire the side. We go to the 9th inning, and the Indians holding on to a 6-5 lead. Albert Bell will come in now to pinch hit. So Bell in the season hitting .367, 16 runs batted in, including 3 trips downtown. Looking at any sort of defensive substitutions I might have missed because I missed Larry Doby, but that's because it's more compelling talking to you guys. Kenny Price is here in Chicago with us. He says, brother, how do you add older ballparks like the 70s and 80s ballparks? So Kenny, if you bought the game on Steam, it's super easy. Go to the workshop. There's a thing called the Stadium mod, and it gives you all the ballparks from 1901 to present, and also all the logos. And it doesn't matter then if you do a tournament, a World Series, or a season replay, or a what if league. It will automatically assign the proper ballparks. If you bought it directly from Out of the Park Developments, there is a rather large file on the Out of the Park forums, Out of the Park Developments forums, that you could download and install from there. So, but the best way to go is just do it by Steam, and then you've got it done automatically. And there's MV, what about that MLB, that elusive MLB The Show tutorial and things like that? Is it ever coming up? So Kenny, I hope that answers your question. If you dig way back, either that or I could just do another quick tutorial on how to do it. I can show you how to install them if you bought it from Out of the Park Developments. Unfortunately, um, workshop integration doesn't work if you buy it directly from Out of the Park Developments. But it's really nice to have the ballparks. Really, really nice. In fact, this is one of them. This is one of the fan-made ballparks. So pretty nice, actually. All right. Albert Bell ready to face Wilbur Wood. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Albert Bell swings, and this was just a lazy fly ball to left field. And Minnie Minoso will make the catch. So one away here for Hall of Famer Larry Doby, and playing center now. 1 for 6 in the season, making it first at bat here. Wilbur Wood deals 0 for 2, or the 0-2 pitch. Larry Doby, oh, great snag. Leaping snag by Luke Appling. Looked like that was going to be a Texas leaguer, but Appling going up there and snapping it out. 2 down here in the 9th, and Ed Morgan now the number 2 hitter. With an RBI in this game, he is 1 for 4. Wilbur Wood deals the 1-0. Morgan grounded out his last time up, and it looks like he's going to ground out this time. Up and over with it is Robin Ventura to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 9th here. On the south side of Chicago, the Cleveland Indians edging the Chicago White Sox 6-5. The White Sox will send up Robin Ventura, Maglio Ordonez, and Johnny Masto. I know you were on earlier. I saw the end of the game. So, good game. Can't give away any spoilers, but very good game. Very good game. You're going on after this. Cool. All right. Nice, nice, nice. Robin Ventura now lead it off here for the White Sox. So we'll hurry up and get this done. Rafael Betancourt will come in to pitch here in the bottom of the 9th to try to shut it down here for the Cleveland Indians. Betancourt is, and I know everybody says Betancourt, but got to go with the Betancourt. 1-0, 3 2/3 innings worked, 2 walks and a strikeout. An ERA of 0. Betancourt with a 3-2 pitch. Opponents are only hitting 167 against him. So here's Ventura. Ventura swings. This one line to left. This will get down for a base hit. That's number 14 for the White Sox. And the tying run is aboard for the Southsiders. Maglio Ordonez, 2 for 2. Would like to make it 3 for 3. And get Ventura moving around a bit more. Betancourt deals. Here's the 2-2. And this one, soft liner to short. And Joe Sewell says denied. So one away for center fielder Johnny Mastil, now 0 for 4. Here's the pitch. Mastil, first pitch swinging. Another easy grounder to short. And an inning-ending double play. 6-4-3, and that is it. It's Sewell to Baerga to Tomey to retire the side, and the Cleveland Indians come from behind and take this one from the Chicago White Sox. So Ventura had a good game, but he could not keep the Chicago White Sox from falling 6-5 to the Cleveland Indians at U.S. Cellular. Chicago third baseman went 3 for 4 with a double and 2 singles while adding 3 RBI in the loss. Doug Jones, credited with the win, is now 1-0. He allowed no runs on 4 hits. The save was Rafael Betancourt's, his 5th. Rocco Colavito went 2 for 3 with 2 singles for Cleveland. The 24-year-old right fielder had a key at bat in the top of the 7th. With 1 out and runners on 2nd and 3rd, he broke a 5-5 tie with a run-scoring sacrifice off Wilbur Wood. It was his 11th RBI of the season. So the White Sox fall to 5-8. The Cleveland Indians improved to 10-3. Your MVP of the game, Robin Ventura. Cleveland hitting that, and a winning cause, of course, but hitting the pitching rotation hard. Feller went 4 innings. Wickman pitched 1 2/3. Doug Jones 1 1/3. LaRoche with 1 inning, and Betancourt with an inning and picking up the save. Doc White went 6 1/3 in a losing cause, and then Wilbur Wood with the blown save pitched 2 2/3 innings. So that does it, and we will go and quickly look at standings just very, very quickly. Then we're going to turn it over to MV. Um, so in the American League East, the Tampa Bay Rays at 10-3. Kind of funny how this one almost looking like what's going on right now. The Red Sox, for instance, at 500 though at 6-6. So 10-3 in the AL Central. It's the Cleveland Indians. They are 10-3 in the AL West. It's a little bit of a dogfight between the Seattle Mariners and the Texas Rangers, each tied at 6-5. Um, we're not going to worry about wild card, obviously, this early. In the National League East, the New York Mets in first place with 7-4. In the Central, the St. Louis Cardinals and Pittsburgh Pirates tied for first at 8-3. And in the National League West, the Colorado Rockies, a half game in front of the LA Dodgers, 9-4. All right, so let's go and save the game and say our goodbyes. And we're going to go to MV's house. All right, so what do we have tonight? Because I started late last night, my fault. We didn't do the battle of two 19th century titans, the 1885 White Stockings and the 1894 Baltimore Orioles. That game will be tonight. It is the deciding game 5. So hopefully that we'll get an early start on that this evening, depending upon how many folks are streaming. There's a lot of folks broadcasting last night, so um, you know. So I went and caught a little bit of our Red Sox fan for a while, some Dave Gardner. So we're going to go on regardless tonight. All right. Finishing up there is, hey, thank you, Bernard. Bernard coming in said this is a good game. Thanks. You're most welcome. When's your next one, Bernard? Let us know. Um, really enjoying this 1950 Red Sox you're playing. Replay that you're doing. Hopefully, you can get them to the series. They finished third that year, right? Andrew says, hey, Beatles, any chance you can resend me an invite to the Discord? The one yesterday expired. Absolutely. 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 I'm going to send two Discord. One of them, I don't know which is which, um, but I'm going to put both in the chat so that way we'd certainly love to have you join. All right, so here is one, and here is the other. So I think it's the second one that's probably the proper one, Andrew. Oh, bloody hell. And Mick, I'll be sending you some binary stuff um, soon. So keep a watch on the Discord. And here's the other link. So hopefully, there you go. All right. Yeah. So MV is tempted to buy Replay Baseball after watching Bernard's game yesterday. Um, MV loved the Bucks in the late 70s. It was the 80s they slipped. Yeah, in the mid 80s. Yep. But he says you have a soft spot for the We Are Family Club. If you want to play, look at the Pirates in the 70s, just except for 1973, which was the first season after Roberto Clemente's death. You look at the 1971-72 squads; they're actually stronger than the late 70s, that 79 Pirates. But except for 1973, the Pirates were a force to be reckoned with, and legendary battles all through that decade with the Cincinnati Reds. All right, so not big clue. I don't know. I must have heresy on my mind or something to mention the illustrious Big Clue. But anyhow, MV is coming back with a game and hopefully maybe a little MLB The Show tutorial. I'll be taking feverish notes as I don't have my PS5 turned on because I want to see MV here in all his glory. So, Big Clue says, I sure as hell don't have a soft spot for them. 1990 was revenge for the 1979 NLCS. Well, with all that being said, Big Clue, I'm really, well, I'm very sad to see my Pirates on a disastrous skid after being in contention, having a fairly strong start to the season. But how about those Cincinnati Reds? First place in the National League Central, 11-game winning streak. So good stuff. All right, so MV says he's going on shortly. So shortly could mean anything between now and this evening. So hopefully that's going to be soon. Thanks, guys, for coming in for some lunchtime baseball. It's always a lot of fun. So, oh, how about it, Big Clue? He says, I wish both our teams were among the best in baseball. Once again, let's get that rivalry reignited. And JT Dutch says, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to have you in here, my friend. Super knowledgeable baseball fan. We don't always agree. I don't agree with you and Dave Parker, but you are a wanker. You're a wanker. You're a tosser. All those things there, MV, but we love you, man. All right. Thank you to MV, to JT Dutch, to Big Clue, to Andrew RW603. That is the coolest last name ever. To Bernard Strom's Sports Replays, and please do subscribe to that channel. Bernard, he's got such a cool, mellow kind of thing. And what's also nice is, you know, watching Bernard and working through, the intricacies of PC replay baseball. And there's a lot going on there, and he handles it with grace. And just love watching the journey, and just excellent broadcaster, good delivery, everything. Love it. So another one of those guys with a really good voice for broadcasting. Kenny Price, I didn't get any answer from Kenny. Hopefully I answered his question about ballparks and out of the park, how to get them. The illustrious McF was in here with us for a little bit. And I think we caught everybody. Oh, Steve Tate, of course. We're going to be babysitting Steve Tate this weekend. Darth Tate. All right, guys. We will see you soon. And let's go to MV's house and see you around the batting cage.